Michael Shikha Niketan Higher Secondary Government Sponsored Co-ed English Medium School has taken an excellent initiative of teaching and make our students learn day-to-day lessons through audio and video in our YouTube channel. Teachers of all the subjects are working hard to enhance these online classes in the midst of this pandemic situation. It is a request to all the teachers, students and guardians to click the bell icon and subscribe our channel.
Student, so we will start the chapter quadratic surd. It is the topic of class 10. Now today we will go for this particular topic quadratic surd. At first we will go for the formal definition of surd. Now what is formal definition of surd? Let us take a positive rational number. Suppose small a be a positive rational number. This sign means a positive rational number set. And this sign means it is belongs to. That is, small a belongs to the positive rational number. It is a member of positive rational number. And small n, it is another kind of number which belongs to the set positive integer. Now, the definition of surd is, if we take a positive rational number a and a positive integer n, then the number of the form nth root of a or a to the power 1 by n, whatever may be the notation you can take, it will be considered as a definition of surd. Now, if we take the example like root 5 is an example of surd, because 5 can be written as 5 to the power, root 5 can be written as 5 to the power 1 by 2. Cube root of 7, what it is? It is 7 to the power 1 by 3. It is another kind of surd. It is known as cube root and it is square root. Now one important discussion should be there. If we take such kind of number, square root of 5 plus 2 root 7, do you think it is a surd? No, it is not a surd, because inside the square root we find a number which is known as the irrational number. It is irrational number. So what we learn? We learn about the surd that inside the square root, if we find any irrational number, then it is not a surd. Inside the square root, if we find any rational number, suppose 5. 5 is a rational number, we know that. So root 5 is a surd. Root 8, it is a surd. But if someone asks you, root 9, is it a surd? No, it is not a surd, because 9 is a perfect square number and root over 9 can be written as either plus or minus 3. So that will give you a rational number. Surd cannot give you any rational number. Surd always give you an irrational number. Okay. So basically what we can say about surd? Surd is one kind of irrational number. Surd is one kind of irrational number and it will always provide you an irrational number. This number inside the square root 5 plus 2 root 7, it is clearly visible that 5 plus 2 root 7 is an irrational number. So naturally inside the square root, if we find an irrational number, that will give you a number which is irrational, but it is not a surd. Now look at this number. It is very interesting to note, root over 3. Now student, you can ask me a question that, sir, inside the square root you have written a number root 3, but root 3 is an irrational number. Do you think it is a surd? Actually it is a surd. Actually it is a surd, because this can be written as 3 to the power 1 by 4. That is 4th root of 3. So inside the nth root, inside the 4th root, in fact, we find a rational number 3. That's why we can claim that this is a surd, but this is not a surd. So what is the conclusion from this part? The conclusion is, every surd is a rational number. Every surd is irrational. Every surd is irrational, but all the irrationals are not surd. So what we have learned from this part? We have learned about the formal definition of surd, some example of surd, when an irrational number will give you the concept of surd, it is here, and when some fallacy, some confusion can arise that root over 3 or root over 7. Here root 7 is irrational, but still we can say it is a surd. So in short or in specific we can say every surd is irrational number, but all the irrational numbers are not surd. Next we will go for another discussion, and for that purpose we will pause the video. Okay, now we will describe about the types of surds. Okay, different kinds of surds are there. So at first we will go for the first type of surd, which is known as the pure surd. And what is pure surd? Pure surd always consists of only one term without any rational coefficient. Without any rational coefficient. What does it mean? If you observe here, suppose root 2 or root 7 or cube root of 5, fourth root of 7. These all are known as pure surds. Because if you observe here, only one term is there, only one term, and without any rational coefficients. What does it mean, rational coefficient? Simple thing, here 5 root 2. If we think about this surd 5 root 2, then we can find a rational number here. 5 is a rational number. So that will be treated as the rational coefficient. But for the pure surd, this part should not present. So only one term without any rational coefficient known as the pure surd. These are the examples of pure surd. Now, next, mixed surd. What does it mean? Here also, we can find only one term, but in that case, with rational coefficient. With rational coefficient. Here, 5 root 7. It is a mixed surd. Because only one term, 5 root 7, only one term consists. And moreover, you can find a rational number, that is a rational coefficient also present here. Another example, if you take 3 root 5 or cube root 9, 4 into cube root 9. This is also a mixed surd. Because in all these examples, you can observe only one term present as well as some rational coefficient also present here. That's why they are known as the mixed surd. Next, compound surd. What is compound surd? Compound surd is the combination of two or more surds connected by some operations like addition or subtraction. If you take the example, suppose root 3, it is a surd, and 5 into cube root 7, it is another surd. It is a pure surd, it is a mixed surd. If you connect these two terms by some operation like addition or subtraction also, this kind of surd will give you the concept of compound surd. So it is a compound surd. So compound surd is basically a surd consisting of two or more terms connected by some operations like addition or subtraction. Okay. Next, binomial. Always we know that this abbreviation bi is known for 2. So binomial surd must consist of two terms. So sum of two surds or sum of one surd or a rational number. If you take the example root 2 plus cube root 7, it is a binomial surd. It is a binomial surd because two terms are there. Or in other hand, you can observe 2 plus root 3. It is another kind of binomial surd. Here, both the terms are surds. Both the terms are surds. Okay. And here, one term is rational number and another term is surd. This is known as the binomial surd. Okay. Next we will go for the trinomial surd. As usual, trinomial means three terms will be there. Here, we can take example like cube root of 5 plus root over 2 plus root over 3. Three terms are there. It is a surd. It is another surd. It is another surd. So three terms are there. That's why it is a trinomial surd. Or in another way, you can take 2 plus cube root of 7 plus root 3. It is another example of trinomial surd. Here you can observe two terms are specifically surd and one term is rational number. So these two are examples of trinomial surds. And the last part, what we have It is conjugate surd. What is conjugate surd? Conjugate surd is identical. They are identical. They always belongs in a pair. They are identical with contrary sign. That means, suppose 2 plus root 3. It is a surd. Now, what is the conjugate of this surd? Just reverse sign will give you the concept of conjugate surd. So, 2 plus root 3 and 2 minus root 3, they are mutually conjugate surd. We can say 2 plus root 3 is the conjugate surd of 2 minus root 3, as well as the reverse thing, 2 minus root 3 is another conjugate surd of 2 plus root 3. Got it? Now, we will discuss about the order of surds. Now, what does it mean? Let us take a surd like root over 7. Now, this surd can be written as 7 to the power 1 by 2. Now, look at the fractional index. Look at the fractional index. What is the fractional index here? It is 1 by 2. Look at the denominator of the fractional index. What is the denominator of the fractional index? It is 2. So, naturally, the order of this surd is 2. As the denominator is 2 here. Let us take another example. Suppose cube root of 9. If we expand this surd, this can be written as 9 to the power 1 by 3. Again, you have to look for the fractional index. What is the fractional index present here? It is 1 by 3. So, 1 by 3 is the fractional index, and look at the denominator. What is the denominator present here? It is 3. So, naturally, the order of this surd will be 3. The last example from order of surd, let us take fifth root of 7. Fifth root of 7. If we expand this number, then that can be written as 7 to the power 1 by 5. Again, we have to look for the fractional index. 1 by 5 is the fractional index present here. Now, look at the denominator of the fractional index. What is the denominator? The denominator is 5. So, clearly we can say the order of this surd will be 5. Okay? I think it is clear. Now, we will go for the next part, which is equiradical surd. Equiradical surd. Now, equiradical surd means having same order. The surds, 2 or more or several surds may be present there, and they will be known as the equiradical surds if they consist of same order, like root 7, root 5, root 3. If you observe and if you remember the previous discussion, then order of this surd, in all the cases, the order of this surd is 2. All the cases. So, they are the surds of same order. Naturally, they will be treated as the equiradical surds. Let us take another example. Suppose cube root of 7, cube root of 9. Are they equiradical surds? The answer is yes, they are equiradical surd, because if we observe the order of this surd, what is the order? The order is 3. Here, the order is also 3. So, they are naturally the equiradical surds. Now, cube root of 5 and fourth root of 10. In that case, do you think they are equiradical surds? The answer is no, they are not equiradical surd at all, because if we observe the order of this surd, it is 3. 3 is the order of this surd. And what is the order of this surd? The order of this surd is 4. Are they equal? Naturally, 3 is not equal to 4. So, they will not be treated as the equiradical surds. Got it? Yes, that was the concept of equiradical surd. Next, we will go for reduction of surds. It is very important. You can find more problems in Madhyamik exam from this particular topic. Reduction of surds. Here, I have taken 2 surds having order 3 and another surd having order 4. Are they equiradical surd? The answer is no, they are not equiradical surd at all. But can we convert the order of these surds? The answer is yes, we can convert it. How? Here is the process. It is cube root of 4 and it is fourth root of 3. The order of the first surd is 3, the order of the second surd is 4. Now, this can be written as 4 to the power 1 by 3 and this can be written as 3 to the power 1 by 4 according to the definition of surd that was discussed in my previous classes. Okay. Now, look at the denominator of the fractional index. At first, you have to look for the denominator of the fractional index. What is the denominator of the fractional index for the first surd? The denominator is 3. And here the denominator is 4. Next, you have to take the LCM of these two numbers, that is 3 and 4. What is the LCM of 3 and 4? We all know that the LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. LCM of 3 and 4 is 12. So we have to make both the denominators 12 by multiplying suitable numbers. How? Observe here. 3 into 4. Our numerator is 1. So numerator should be multiplied by the same number, 4. So ultimately we have 4 to the power 4 by 12. Okay. Now go for the second number, 3 to the power. What is our target? Our target is to make the denominator 12. So we have to multiply it by 3. Naturally the numerator should be multiplied also by 3. So ultimately we have 3 to the power 3 by 12. Now look at these two numbers. Here the denominators are same, both are 12. Naturally we can write the first number cube root of 4 as 12th root of 4 to the power 4. And the second number 4th root of 3 can be written as 12th root of 3 to the power 3. Now we can say, we can claim that these two surds having same order. They has reduced to the surds of same order. In both the cases the order is 12. Okay, so this is the part very important, how to reduce two or more surds in the same order. Got it? Now the last part of our discussion is properties of surds. It is very important to know. The first property is nth root of a plus or minus whatever may be the operation, nth root of a plus or minus nth root of b is not equals to nth root of a plus b. It is not happening, because if you take cube root of 7 plus cube root of 8, you cannot write it as cube root of 7 plus 8, that is cube root of 15. You cannot write it. You cannot write it. The property of surd doesn't allow you to do some such thing. Okay, so it is not happening. Now the second property is very important. It is the property of multiplication. Nth root of a into nth root of b. In both the cases the order is same. The order is n actually. Here you can write nth root of a into nth root of b as nth root of a into b. That means, if we take the similar example, cube root of 7 into cube root of 8, in that case we can write cube root of 7 into 8. That is cube root of 56. And this is also hold good for the division operation also. Okay. So what we have learned from the properties of surd? We have learned that if we go for the addition or subtraction, it will not permit you, it will not allow you to distribute the order of the surds. But if you go for the multiplication or division, then it is possible to write the given surds as a product of the surds inside the square root or cube root or fourth root, whatever may be the discussion. Okay, so that's all for the today. In my next class, we will discuss about the rest of the part of this particular topic, quadratic surd. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like and comment. Subscribe. And do share the video among your friends.